Welcome back to week 3 of Crota's and the challenge mode for Master. This week's challenge is going to be Ear-Ute the Death Singer, which is the third encounter of the raid, and what I believe to be the easiest challenge to do out of the 4. So if you've been waiting to do your challenge modes just to get the adept weapons really easily, and you hated and avoided the Abyss and the Bridge, this is definitely the week for you. This week's challenge is called Equal Vessels, and the requirement for this challenge is for you to not touch the chalice more than once until your entire fire team has touched it at least once. To break it down in simple terms, you just simply make an order of 1 through 6, and then until the order is fully complete, you never go a second time. Now, the entire idea of the challenge here is just to make a big DMV conga line. And to do this, you simply start the encounter as normal, then go through the motions of killing the knights, the acolytes, the shriekers to open the crystal doors, and then once you pick up the chalice, and I kid you not, literally run out of the room and your entire fire team can just go upstairs. That's it. That's the entire thing. You guys can go upstairs and be like, hey guys, I'm charging my chalice. Let's have a picnic, you know, put our cowboy hats on and whatever it may be. And that's it. The only thing you need to do while you're standing there with your chalice and your wiener in your hand, maybe, perhaps, is somebody can be scouting. You can use Wishender here. You can use True Sight with your Hunter on Void Invis, or you just have somebody manually go around doing it if they want. Other than that person that's scouting where the wizards are in the tower, everybody else can literally just chill upstairs and do absolutely nothing. No supers, no shooting ads, nothing. You're completely safe up there, and it's pretty silly, and I'd be kind of dumb to just not straight up tell people to do this instead of struggling downstairs with 6 million barrier champions spawning. And for the chalice section in this challenge mode, it's pretty much the same as you would normally do it for Ear-Ute. However, there's a slight twist at the end that you would do just to ensure you're doing the challenge mode. And that is, you pick up the chalice, you pass it around 3 times as you get your enlightened players as normal, and then you assign them a wizard. Then, player number 4 gets the chalice and also gets enlightened, and then player number 5 would pick up the chalice from them, but not get enlightened. Instead, they would put it into the preservation node. Now, you may have noticed that leaves player 6 as not touching the chalice, and we'll get to that. Now, at this point, once the preservation node is in, you start the damage phase, kill the wizards, and then go ahead to Ear-Ute. Do damage, and if you happen to one-phase Ear-Ute, well, then you're done and the challenge is complete. However, for most teams, you're probably going to need to two-phase this, which is totally fine, and this is where your 6th player will come in. So now you have player number 6 go down into the preservation node and pick up the chalice that was deposited into there. As soon as they've picked it up, you've now completed a full rotation of everyone touching the chalice, and you have now gone a soft reset. The only thing to avoid here is just having that number 6 player touching the chalice again until everyone else has touched it. But if you're doing it right, they won't have a chance to even do this. So, once you're in rotation number 2, you or anybody else can now pick up the chalice from that person that we were just talking about, and you don't have to follow the same DMV order that you just followed in rotation number 1. Meaning, if you were player 3 in rotation number 1, you can now start rotation number 2 as the very first person. It doesn't matter that you were 3 before and 1 now, so long as all of you just touch the chalice only 1 time per rotation. So to just simplify that even further, in rotation 1, you have player 1, 2, 3, and 4 get enlightened. Number 5 dunks it into the preservation node. Number 6 picks it up from the preservation node after the damage phase. Then, players 1, 2, and 3 can pick up the chalice and rotate it between each other with the inclusion of that last 6th player that I just mentioned, because that will now be 4 enlightens. And that's pretty much it. You have that 6th player get enlightened, and then any players 1, 2, and 3 get enlightened with them. You now have 4 players to divide yourselves between 4 wizards to kill in the towers. You kill them as normal to start the damage phase. Then you go damage Ear-Ute, and hopefully you have now comfortably two-phased Ear-Ute, if not a one-phase, and that completes the challenge. There you go. Now, as for weapons or loadouts, so it's kind of complicated as Crota's and Master seems to have 2 rotations, or at least that's what I'm being told, meaning you're going to be watching this on either a Void or a Solar rotation. For some reason, we're not going to get Arc, which I think personally is dumb. They should just have a triple rotation in Master raids. That's just me personally. Anyway, so if you're watching this on Solar Week, your recommendation for a loadout is either Sleeper Simulant or Briar's Contempt with Surrounded. Depends which ones you have, but they're both very good given that they're Solar for Solar Surge. If you're doing Void, then you bring Leviathan's Breath as your heavy weapon. Additionally, For either of these rotations, you can bring a Banner of War Titan or multiple Banner of War Titans because it's also Strand Surge every single week. And Banner of War, let me tell you, is still really, really, really effing stupid. And it does even more damage than any of these weapons that I just mentioned with their surges on. So, if you're a good Banner of War player, this is your time to shine. Other things you will need for this damage phase are just going to be the standard tools of Well of Radiance, because Well is stupid busted and gives you extra damage. And then a Divinity Cage, not so much for just debuff purposes, but more so just to put a cage on Iryu's face so that everybody can hit their crit shots very, very easily. Now, the other thing is, if you have Banner of War Titans, they will run Tractor Cannon and have your debuff for you, which means you will not need a Tether and instead be Gathering Storm. If you do not have Banner of War Titans, then you need to run Tether because Tether is a 30% debuff as opposed to Divinity, which is 15. No, they do not stack together. However, they do different things. One is a big debuff, the other gives you a cage to shoot the boss in the face, so you can run both together. Now for positioning, you have two choices. You can either be downstairs, right in Iryu's face like normal, literally on normal mode, or you can stay upstairs, just like the spot where I mentioned where you charge the chalice for enlightenment. The big difference here is whether or not you have Banner of War Titans. If you do not have Banner of War Titans, you can just sit up there the entire time and DPS her for free. That's completely fine. You will easily kill her. However, if you do have Banner of War Titans trying to push for the 1 phase or just extra damage because you want to get a comfortable 2 phase, then you need to well downstairs. Because if you're all upstairs and your Banner of War Titans are downstairs fighting Iryut, even though they have Banner of War, they're not going to tank the boss's damage plus 8 million barriers shooting them in the back, plus all the Thrall, plus the Boomer Knights, etc. So you're just setting up your banners to die if you're not with them down there. If they're down in a well while shooting the boss, they'll be completely fine, and their Banner of War also protects you by healing you periodically. Me personally, if you have Banner Titans, stay downstairs. The damage is worth it. If you want to play it safe and your team is dying too much, just stay upstairs. That's my 2 cents on that situation. By the way, if you're enjoying the guide or the video, or both, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, share, maybe leave a comment. It does help the channel, is much appreciated, and it does help with the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, back to the video. Final thing I want to note in the event that some people might be asking or wondering, Snake, can we do the fight normally and then get challenge done because we did it in 1 phase? And the answer of this is yes. If you take the fight at face value and you only get 3 enlightened as normal, and then you go into the damage phase like you did nothing different, and you do kill the boss in 1 phase, you still get challenge complete and you will get both chests for both rewards. The reason for this is basically you did pass the chalice around only 3 times, but nobody touched it twice, so it still counts as you doing the mechanic correctly. So if you're, rocking some big wiener energy and you guys want to ball out in just 1 phaser like that, then you can do that and then get your challenge done much quicker than doing a 2-phase full rotation kind of deal. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully that helps you, and I'll catch you guys in the next guide video, which should be the new Moon Heist Battleground GM, which people will probably be doing for Conqueror. If you're interested in that, head over to my Twitch for streams as well. I'll be streaming daily, twitch.tv/SneakyBeaver for Crota challenges and GMs, so come hang. Alright, I'll catch you guys in the next video.